Aloha, everyone, and welcome back to Alaka'i, the podcast. I'm Emmie Siebert, and I'm here with my co-host Mutia, and we are going to talk a little bit about the sustainability farm today, and we have some lovely guests. One is Kinohi. She is from Haula, Oahu, here in Hawaii. She is majoring in Hawaiian studies and elementary education and is a freshman here. And she currently works at the Sustainability Farm and in the Sustainability Center. And we're excited to have her. And we also have...
Kihei, Nahale-a. Aloha, everybody. I'm the Kumuwaiwai Center for Sustainability Education Manager. And excited to share a little bit more about what we're doing over there and give a little bit more clarity on what Kumuwaiwai and the Sustainability Center is for and all about. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, we are so excited to have you both.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you could say hello if you'd like.
Hi. All right. Yeah, pretty much we want to know more about Kumuwaiwai Farm because probably people know of it, but they don't know much about it. So this is what we wanted to bring up. We want everyone to be aware of what you are doing and then what are the things that they can do as they visit the Kumuwaiwai Sustainability Farm.
Yeah, so maybe let's start with what it is.
Sure. So I'll walk us back a little bit, take a bigger,
Sure.
Get on Google Earth and pull us back a little
Let's
bit.
do
And
it.
Right.
We're following along with you.
And Kumuwaiwai Center for Sustainability was built around the initiative that is the whole BYU system. It has embraced the mission to become, for all of our students, faculty, and staff to become good stewards of earthly resources. And so basically sustainability is something that BYU as a system is trying to embrace and to install and instill in all the people that are here. Mm-hmm. And so specifically our mission here at BYU-Hawaii in Laie, that mission has been embraced through the Kumuwaiwai Center for Sustainability. And in our mission, it's a little different because the focus is on looking at trying to find answers through traditional knowledge.
Cool.
That is specifically comes from the service area that this university is tasked to service, which is Oceania, Pacific Rim, and Asia. And so we want to take those traditional knowledge or wisdoms from those areas and to become better informed and better prepared to try and provide answers or solutions or innovations to help those specific service areas. So the students that come here or the people that serve their missions in those areas, we'd like them to look and see about the history of the people, the history of the place, and the things that are currently happening, good and bad, and try to be informed and prepared to go in there and lead by example, by hoping to provide solutions that are appropriate for the community. And I think that's very innovative. I think it's very very brave and very challenging to do at the same time.
Right.
But it's a mission that brought me here from where I was. I was a career educator in āina-based and culture-based education in the state of Hawaii. I worked mostly in the state system, but that mission drove me here to try something out here at BYU. And it's been a great year so far. And the farm itself, this is the interesting thing because a lot of people think Kumuwaiwai is just a farm.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. I was like, wait, what is it?
It's a bigger, actually, the Center for Sustainability starts from the banyan tree behind
the temple?
The banyan tree behind
Next
the science
to Holly
building.
too.
Oh,
SCB.
yeah. That
So
one.
that's the start of the Sustainability Center land base. And it goes all the way to the sustainability, what we know as the Sustainability Farm. So I like to tell people it's from the fence line of the temple
Right.
all the way to the banyan tree. Of the
That's
science
pretty
building.
large.
It's a large piece of property. And all of that is zoned in a way to be utilized to try to do different projects, agricultural or land-based, but focused around sustainability. So currently we have the science program doing a habitat restoration project there. We have science also has a nursery of growing plants and doing projects there about trying to answer questions around soil fertility in areas that are depleted in soil. We also have Kahuola, which is the Hawaiian Studies Malama āina area or āina-based learning area, which they do traditional farming methods there. And then our area, which people have known as the farm for a long time, but we just recently got the name changed to be known as Lanihuli Gardens. So we're trying to promote this image that the farm is no longer a farm; it's actually a garden, and it's a garden that shares a name of an area that the temple is built on. The area that the temple is actually built on is actually Lanihuli, and so we decided to use Lanihuli as a name to inspire us to try to behave or act like the same way that people would care for the temple, to care for their food security.
Does Lanihuli, does that have a translation to something?
Yeah, literal translation, it means to turn to the heavens, to turn towards the chief.
That's a really beautiful meaning.
Right. And then I try to tell people that actually Lanihuli, but if you can think of it in a more maybe figuratively way, it's kind of to say that Lanihuli is here, because there's more than one Lanihuli in Hawaii. There's actually a few others, places that are called Lanihuli. So I try to tell people, like, you can kind of think of it as like a heavenly place on earth. And so you're always aspiring to try to create a space that is beyond us, is worthy of just more than just us. So if we're the closest piece of property to the temple, then our goal is for when people come there to aspire to be just as, how I say in Hawaiian, to be as pono, or to strive for that higher level of yourself, to behave in a way that would make you worthy of entering the temple. Behave in a way to make you worthy of growing food for your community, food for your family, food for yourself. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of seeing like almost a rebranding of.
Exactly.
So since it's more a garden than a farm, and so what's the proper term to? Because I would just say like, oh, the sustainability farm.
Right.
But should there be like a different? So
we're actually in the process of rebranding, or like you said, rebranding or renaming it, and the name of the garden we're calling it's called Lanihuli Gardens.
Okay.
And so that's the name of it. We're still working on signage and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting because the reason why we have that name is that, and Kinohi's connected to that, is that I learned about that place from her grandfather, Kupuna Sai Bridges, who is a very well-known historian and genealogist of this area. And he's the one that explained to me when I first came to this area to understand and learn about that place. And he said, oh, that's Lanihuli, and it's an important area. And that's what inspired me to understand, for us as Hawaiians and people who are intimately connected to land, we want to aspire. The food we eat is not just nutrition.
Right.
It's about, they say you are who you eat, or you are what you eat.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So for Hawaiians and people who are intimately tied to land, what you eat is very important, and how you eat it is very important. So there's a lot of tradition, protocol, ceremony, and that. And that makes sense for everybody. Everybody has that kind of sense of respect and reverence for that. So
I think I really like the way you explain about how it's going to change its name, and then everything is going to be centered on, okay, how are we going to do it if God is around, and then how we're going to serve people. And I think it comes back again to the most recent general conference about things celestial.
Yeah.
It's really everything behind what you are saying, because everyone, if they serve and thinking about if I serve others in the sustainability farm or in any kind of ways, they will be able to serve God at the same time too.
Doing your serving and doing it with your passion, or doing the thing that brings you the most joy is one of the best ways to do that service, because you're giving your full self, not only the mechanics of it, but you're giving your full emotion and spirit and aloha.
Right.
Yeah.
So Kinohi, you work in the gardens, and he had mentioned that there's like your grandpa.
Oh yeah.
What? So there's like family ties here. Just kind of, I would love to hear about that.
Yeah, my family actually comes from this side of the island, and when I say this side, I mean Ko'olauloa.
Okay.
Which is like from Kohuku.
You can say like Kualoa all the way to actually almost to Waimea actually.
Oh. Yeah, that's this side of the island, and my family mostly comes from like Laie and Ho'ula.
Okay.
And my papa or my grandpa, he's like, he knows a lot of information about this land and all of Ko'ololoa, and yeah.
Cool. So now you work there. What's your experience like working there?
My experience working there, so I work over there and I take care of the Hawaiian Mala'i, or the Hawaiian garden,
Okay.
where there's Hawaiian sweet potato and kalo or taro, and those are some of the staple foods of Hawaii. Like in the old days, that's all they used to eat all the time. So yeah, I take care of those, and then there's other plants too, and it's just been very good over there because I got to connect more with my roots, and like with my roots of mahi'ai. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably really special, especially since you have like family roots and we're
Right.
literally working with roots if we're talking gardening, you know, so I'm pretty sure it's really therapeutic.
You hit it
Yeah.
right on the head because, Kinohi is one of not, that's what it was, and I not hope it comes off right, but
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Oh, Kinohi is going to come to the interview. Oh, Kinohi? Because Kinohi is a question of few words, but great action.
Yeah.
Her hands are very gifted, but she doesn't say much. But you can see the quality in her work. It's been quite wonderful to see her in the garden, and specifically we wanted to put her there specifically because around the sense of genealogy and generational growth, because her family has been very significant in helping a lot of other families understand who they are, where they come from. And taro is very, very much connected to that. When she said that taro and sweet potato is the main food of what we eat, and on a traditional Hawaiian table, they would say you would have your ai meka'i'a, and your ai is anything that's a starch. So
Okay.
it'll be taro, sweet potato, could be bananas, that's breadfruit. And that was the main component of your meal. You eat more starch
Yeah.
than protein. And so your i'a was your protein, and that i'a literally means fish, but it could be anything. It would be like a lot of ai or starch with just a little bit of protein. A little pig, even a little piece of coconut, fish, salt even, if you have anything else, it'd just be a
Yeah.
little bit of salt. But the main food you ate was these starch foods, which was your high complex carbohydrate foods.
Wow.
That's so nice. Like when you explain about that, I feel like, okay, this is really Hawaiian. They
yes.
they really like
This is
appreciate
really-
food and then where it comes from, and even everything behind it has its meaning, like taro, and then it grows in any other country, but I
Yes.
don't think any other country like appreciate those small things more than like Hawaiian, because
I
it's just
appreciate
like,
you saying that, because it's such an amazing plant, taro, and even sweet potato, because
Yeah.
those foods are worldwide, but it's the way in which we engage with those foods that make it so. For us in our culture, taro was elevated higher than in other Polynesian cultures as well. It became a very huge symbol of Hawaiians, the taro. And so there's this statement that taro farmers would say in the past. They would say, "Where there's water, there's taro. Where there's taro, there's Hawaiians." So like,
oh,
all
that's
those three
cool.
things, you're not gonna see a Hawaiian in the desert. Basically, they would say, you can't
There's
grow
not
taro
taro
there.
there.
You're not gonna be there. And so
Yeah.
it was that kind of thing. And I thought that was important. Going back to the thing about the sustainability farm or garden, now
Right.
we're calling it,
Right.
was we wanted to focus and make an intentional effort to talk about food security, because food security is super important for any people, for any community to understand. When you feel safe and secure, you feel more willing to do work that's above yourself or to take risks to try and transcend. And so we wanted to also bring an opportunity to anchor this community to a traditional knowledge food security system, like a mala'i, to mahi'ai, which is to garden or to cultivate food. But then that's just one space. We also have our TVA community food box gardens, and we're transforming that to be not just about having a little box to grow food in, but we want to talk about the soil fertility, So we're actually looking at that as being a honuola, or a living earth project. So we're actually investing a lot of our budget this year, rest of this year, to create living ecosystems, fertile soil ecosystems that are regenerative and can sustain itself through minimal amendment, which is very, very important. So those two projects there's one third main project, which was our bee restoration project. We had some bees there from the previous program that was over there at the farm, and they were kind of not in a good space. They were being challenged. They weren't healthy. And one of our students, Quinn Evans, he was very, and a few others, Preston was another one, but they were very passionate about the bees and wanted to get them going. And they worked with bees in the past and understood its importance. And so I said, well, go try. I mean, like I'm not super comfortable around bees, but I said, you try. And they really restored and saved the bees. We moved them to the front of the garden.
That's
and we
a
have
big
them
job.
in a safe place. Yeah, they worked really hard. They spent, and what they gave up of their own time, not just their work hours, but volunteer time. And they created a spot. And if you guys want to come down, we'd love to share these things. We can do tours in our garden. And we do, Quinn does a really excellent presentation around what bees do and why they're important to the infrastructure of our garden and to the planet. And then, Kinohi's been starting to learn about how to do presentations around taro and its relationship and all the different parts to it and how it relates to Native Hawaiian culture and language. And then we have other students understanding about soil fertility. And that's one of the biggest challenges in the planet, is that we don't have healthy soil anymore. Right. We're actually depleting our topsoil at a rate that's very concerning. And so doing it in a way where we could create a living system of a healthy topsoil to grow food in is kind of a great way to understand, the kind of environment you want to be around and thrive in. So,
yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about that. What options y'all have for students to come and learn, or like what, either service opportunities that I know there have been people in the past who've been really interested in wanting to go there and serve. And so maybe some things about that. And also, like you had briefly mentioned, some tours.
Sure.
What are some options for us who want to learn and want to go?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. We're really excited that we're trying to roll out multiple ways of access to the garden, and to Kumuwaiwai in general. So we're trying to build a system where different clubs and different faculty members or classes could come and engage with us. So we have some, and later on I'll share. I have a contact where you could come in and do a request form to come and visit it as a club, as a class, just as an individual to come and talk about and visit.
And is that an email or?
We have a link,
card. A link,
and then we have a QR code thing.
Got it. Maybe we could try to put it in the notes of this, podcast or something like that.
But and in there we ask like what you're interested in, and then we're getting better at having. So with the garden itself, we have open and visitation hours.
Okay.
And
what are those
then we're
hours?
trying to do community work days. Our open hours are from 7 to 8:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, and from 2 to 6:30 in the afternoon. Most of the kids are supposed to be in school the rest of that, so
right.
Yeah.
we shut down.
Okay, well that's great information for everyone who wants to go. That's like a open gym type of thing, like
right, exactly. Come check out. We have a monitor there. If you want to check it out, just check it out and come volunteer.
Okay,
or
just in those hours you could just show up and
ask how can we help or how can we learn more about what's going on. And we have a lot of staff working that time. You can jump in and
so individual can come themselves too, right?
Sure, and come volunteer. We'd love the volunteer help.
Right.
And or just to come and learn more about what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's in a casual way. And then we have a club now. It's called the Mahi'ai Club. Is connected to us. So they're actually going to visit Kualoa this weekend on Saturday, and we had a good recruitment. I think they have like 50 members, if I heard correctly. Yeah, it's kind of big.
Sweet.
It's kind of nervous, but
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then like Kukui Talks uses our space as well for social gatherings.
Yeah,
I was just
that's
there yesterday.
interesting.
Oh yeah. We're trying to make that space a little nicer for everyone and to utilize it for communal space, to gather and learn and to develop a better concept around why they're here. How can you incorporate sustainability concepts into your life, into your lifestyle, and and just to feel good about yourself and what you're doing. It's important to have safe spaces, and not only in like enclosed spaces, but natural and native settings as well. So.
Yeah, I like that. I think every time we have a gathering over there, it feels like, okay, actually we always have a space that we can call home if we really want to do something. If we don't have anything to do, just come over there and serve. I mean, like, why not?
Right. The thing I love the most about when I'm there is there's such a diversity on campus.
I agree.
It's fun when certain students come, and I don't know much about their culture, but they'll see a plant that we have and they get excited. And then I go, oh, what is this plant? It's a weed. And they go, oh, no, that's not a weed. We make this out of that. And you should grow that more. And then that's how we get informed better of what community needs and wants. And we like that interpersonal engagement. And then we like to set that up as how we can make informed decisions about what we should be growing there. So if we do that with clubs, or people want to do, we're gonna start a kind of a gardening program with people, a little bit more cooperative growing. So it's a group of people that love to grow together, not just for themselves, but for community members and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a great way to build community and trust with each other.
So there's a lot of things that are being grown there. Mm-hmm. Where does it go?
Oh, good question.
I've always been so curious.
Yeah. So that was kind of the mysteries when I first came. Where's all this going? But so what we started to do, like, we have a lot of banana patches, and the thing that we've been distributing the most is bananas.
Okay.
We've been going bananas, giving bananas out to people.
Just like
randomly,
to the school,
so at first we used to deliver bananas a lot to the banyan.
Oh.
And then I took a pause on that because that kind of service I felt we needed to be more consistent about. But as a garden, when we would get whatever fruits we would get, we'd harvest, and then we'd start to deliver to different departments. So you'll see somebody who'll come around, he'll drop off a bunch of bananas to a different department, offer to HR, president's office. It sounds like
I got it a lot when I was working in the office. Yep.
But I don't think we've dropped off any bananas here to the studio, so I better start dropping some
bananas.
off.
Well, yeah.
So we do that, and that's been our main delivery thing, like a kind of something that we can just give out with. And then right now we have a lot of breadfruit. So those are the kind of things that when they're in abundance, we try to save some, put them in the freezer to hold, and then we try to then distribute out the extras. But we're trying to get a handle on growing more produce and the kinds of produce that people like. So, we're going to start trying to have like more lemongrass, basil, herbs, rosemary, like easy to acquire, and thyme. Like, we're trying to grow those things, and we're growing beans and stuff like that. So we have to get more efficient on our harvesting. And then when people come volunteer, we can give them a little bit of a variety of food and say, you just buy one chicken and this. That's an awesome meal. Or you've like trying to figure out how we can also provide like all the produce you need for a really healthy meal for your family or friends and stuff like that. And so that's where the food is supposed to go, is back to the students and to the community. And we're trying to understand where it's all going. And we're taking data.
Oh, got it.
Around
where it goes.
We took 2 lilikoi and 2 papayas, and
so it's getting more efficient. It's growing.
Right. Yes.
Things are changing, rebranding.
Yeah, and that's been a little bit of a shake up for I think some students or some people that used to what it used to be. Like people come by still asking like, oh, where's the bike repair shop? And I'm like, I don't know. But I guess there used to be a place where you could go to help fix your bikes and some simple mechanics and borrow tools.
Yeah, back in the days, people got bikes from there, like the unused one.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a challenge. And then it ended before I came, but I really see the value in that and helping students with those kinds of repairs. And I'm just trying to figure out how we can create a opportunity for students to fix their bikes or there's a lot of excess here on campus that we could probably be more smart and efficient around, but I'm trying to create the good systems that help us be smart about it and not, because it can almost become another type of problem. If you give me all your broken stuff.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're just doing too much.
Yeah,
then
it's
just kind of
overwhelming.
It's like, wait, what are we doing? What's our mission again? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I think we got a little bit on a mission drift.
Right.
Yeah.
And so my goal is to understand what can you do and do it well. And then if we do it well, then we'll have the capacity to do more
Right.
eventually. And so I think that's why we're just focusing on food security at this time. And if people feel secure and their belly a little bit more full, they might have a little bit more energy to try and create something else. And
And build bags
Yeah.
or something.
yeah, and there's other programs out there, like we're saying in Kumuwaiwai. The other part of this job is to encourage, to have the kids advocate for them to tell their teachers what do they want to learn, and then come talk to us about how we can support that issue and stuff like that. A lot of these kids that are coming here from the service areas that we're talking about, the university, they have the firsthand knowledge of the challenges in their community, be it food insecurity, be it climate change issues or weather issues and problems. So it's good to understand and know what their challenges are and truly make an effort that is about that feels like it's close to home and not something like some outside answer that we're not sure if it fits or not. It's about building that trust and relationship that and the kids are going home with feeling empowered to go back to their family and serve their community with good answers and trust and making them feel like that time away from home was worth it. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get to. Because it's a risk. It's tough to go away and take this whole challenge of institutional learning and being away from home and family.
Definitely, yeah.
Right? So you want to make it worth your time. And so we want to be a group and a program that makes you feel that your time is not being wasted, but it's fun and empowering at the same time. But I know I talk plenty.
Yeah,
But
I think it leads me to another question because you mentioned about the teacher. All the students have their knowledge, especially those who are in biology major. I have a lot of friends who takes biology as their major, and then every time they mention about Kumuwaiwai farm and then the place that they are going to work at, they're so excited. I think, Kinohi, you can answer this too. What is something that makes you feel excited the most about working in the farm?
Something that makes me excited the most is the ability to work at like in a little garden that is filled with Hawaiian plants, because I was taught that that place isn't only a Mala'ai, but it's a Mala'olelo, and Mala'olelo is basically a garden for language, and I'm fluent in like Hawaiian. And
wow, that's wow. I'm like fluent in Hawaiian. I'm like, you are fluent in Hawaiian. That's so awesome.
I'm fluent in Hawaiian, and I think that being around like Hawaiian plants not only builds my language, but it builds my knowledge on Hawaiian things.
Wow, that is so cool that earth and nature and things like that can improve something that I probably wouldn't link those two together, but that's what it's for. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the most interesting you have learned? Something that, I just found it here.
I think something interesting that I learned is how to properly take care of the plants that I'm taking care of, because before I used to have them at like my house and at my high school, and I used to have to take care of them, but I never really actually took care of them. I just used to water them, but now I have to like actually take care of kalo and uala, where I look at the leaves and inspect it for like bugs and everything, and then I have to weed and do everything to maintain and manage the plants to make sure it's healthy and survives. Yeah.
How does that make you feel every time you know, okay, this is the problem and this is what I'm gonna do? How does that make you feel?
It kind of makes me feel happy, like especially when I deal with the kalo, because in the Hawaiian culture, kalo is like something very important to Hawaiians, because kalo is like haloa, and haloa is our kua'ana, our older sibling, and we have to take care of the plants and the land in order for it to sustain and take care of us.
Awesome. Were you gonna mention something?
Well, I was gonna say, she's saying it correctly. So there is a very strong relationship. Haloa is our kind of a mythology name for the taro plant, and so with haloa just means long breath, and so taro or kalo has a long stalk. So that and it's called the ha.
Yeah.
But ha means it means stem, but also means breath.
Yeah.
So for us, as you cultivate taro, and like how I said, if there's water, there's taro. If there's taro, there's Hawaiians. It's basically expressing in this very important way that I was just with Kumuwaiwai walk, and we were talking about something, and he said, when you say that water, taro, and Hawaiian, you look at that statement, man is last in that statement. Water is first. And haloa or taro is actually a representation of nature. Water is a representation of the elements. Taro is a representation of all growing things in nature. And then man has a role to play. And the role to play is to take care of them. And if you take care of those things, they will take care of you. And I think as humans, we've kind of lost that relationship to environment and to elements to understand this interpersonal relationship. I think we've come to see nature as and environment as a resource and not the source of all things. And if we start to build a bit better understanding that we are part of the system and not the ones that manipulate or run the system, I think our children's children will have a fighting chance to be in a space that is recognizable to our ancestors. Like, oh, that's the place I know. But if we keep going down this pathway of extracting and not being reciprocating to the planet, our kids are not gonna understand. We're not gonna recognize the place that our children are gonna be living in.
Right.
And
that they're gonna live in.
And I think that's what Kinohi is saying. And even when she talked about the thing about, oh, it's just watering, like, it's funny because ever since she started working there, those plants is doing really good.
A really good hand.
Yeah, but it's because she's building a relationship to the plants and to each other. And so you don't need a chemical if you spend time there. All you just need is your hands.
Right. Absolutely.
And engagement. Plants thrive on interaction, and so do we. Yeah.
Wow. So to recap, the sustainability garden needs people. It's welcome for everyone, that everyone can come and volunteer, and it's all about being pono and respectful and learning from the land.
Yeah, and I think every single of us need to remember that we have to give it in return to our land because they have given so much to us. But anyway, thank you so much for coming today, and then all of the information that you have told us. I think it's really useful for the students. And for all of you who are listening out there, please remember that we have this reliable source in school. And then if you really, really wanted to serve, this is always be a good place for you to come. But anyway, thank you so much. And if you ever have a story or anything that you would like to listen, you would like to share with us in the podcast, please let us know. You can contact us in Alaka'i News. And we would like to hear from you on Instagram. All right.
See you next time.
See ya.
Mahalo. Aloha.